What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus package update and daily news report for Monday, November 8th. So, lawmakers have 1 year from today in order to provide the American people with a little bit more, to get the American people back on their side so that they vote for them during the upcoming midterm elections. Here's what we know. Right now, many Democratic lawmakers have said that they have not done enough. They need to do more. They need to provide more to the American people. What they're saying is, in 1 year, they need to show the American people that they are for them, that they are trying to get them what they need. Currently, President Biden has an approval rating of just 38%. What we know is 46% of people surveyed say that President Biden has done worse than they previously expected. 64% of people say they don't want President Biden to run for president again for his second term. Vice President Kamala Harris actually has an approval rating worse than President Biden at just 28%, and 25% of Americans say that the Build Back Better plan will help them and their families. That means 1 out of every 4 people are saying they will have some assistance from the Build Back Better plan. However, the majority of Americans do say that the Build Back Better plan needs to pass. Here's what we know. Democrats right now, they must do more, or else they're going to lose the majority in the House and the Senate. They say that they need to pass the Build Back Better plan, but they must include more popular pieces of legislation within the plan for the American people. The problem is, moderates do not support things like handing out an additional stimulus check, which would be a very popular piece of legislation. It would be very popular and it would most likely win Democrats, additional, seats in the House and the Senate. But that's not going to happen. Right now, what I can tell you is, with such a slim majority in the House and the Senate, it makes passing these bills and some more popular pieces of legislation very difficult. But according to reports, this is why Democrats are pushing for the things that they believe are the most popular. These are the child tax credit payments, paid family medical leave, Medicare expansion, even though it's just hearing, not vision and dental, and immigration. Those are the things that they say are the most popular pieces of legislation, and that will help them win back their seats in the House and the Senate for this upcoming midterm election. Here's what I can tell you. We are 1 year away from the upcoming midterm election. The problem with this is that now it's not just going to be about the American people. It's not just going to be about, hey, let's fix this climate change issue we're having. It's not going to be about, let's provide more to affordable housing or to children and parents and seniors and veterans. That's not what it's going to be about. What we are hearing, and this is something that we see every single year during an election year, is that it's going to be about the votes. How are the polls coming in? What do the votes look like? How can we get and drum up some more support for our agenda? How can we do that? So, the expectation at this point is, even though some provisions are going to be more popular, the expectation is that we need to provide more to get people to vote. So again, it's going to come down to votes. So if you think that this bill needs to pass right now, just understand it may go back and forth for a little while. We could see Senator Joe Manchin ultimately delay this until sometime in 2022 because he's going to believe, what? If we delay this, we might be able to get more for us, for our agenda, which would help us, retake, control of the House or the Senate, right? And when I say retake control, I'm talking about Democrats getting more control, because right now, even though they have the majority, it's so slim that really that majority doesn't do a whole lot for them. So we'll see what happens there. Now, while we wait on all that, what I can tell you is moderates, as of right now, are just wanting to see the CBO score. They want to see the score of this bill, of the $1.75 trillion human infrastructure bill from the Congressional Budget Office. The expectation at this time is that the CBO score and the White House cost analysis is going to match up. And according to Representative Josh Gottheimer, who is one of the lead moderates in the House, he says, and I quote, "We received a slew of data this past week from the Treasury Department and from the White House and some Congressional Budget Office analysis. We're expecting to receive more in the next 7 to 10 days. Okay, this happened last week. So sometime this week, we should see this. We expect the information that we received to be in line with what we received from the Treasury Department. And we'll at that point, I'm sure, be ready to move forward." So the expectation is after this week, and again, we're waiting on that CBO score. Once the CBO score comes out, we're going to have answers. Is this going to move forward? Do we have to go back to the negotiation table? Do we have to go back to clear back to the drawing board? What do we need to do? So what I can tell you is this week will be a very important week if this score finally comes out. And the expectation is it will. It would most likely come out to the middle to end of this week. That is the reason why lawmakers say they're going to wait until the end of the week beginning November 15th. So that's actually next Monday. So they're going to wait till the end of next week to hopefully get this deal done. That's their timeline. Get it done before the end of next week. So we'll see if they actually make that. Here's a different story that I want to bring to your attention because I thought this was shocking. But it is in line with what the Biden administration wants. What we are hearing is that the Biden administration is weighing the potential market consequences of shutting down an additional oil pipeline in Michigan. Now this pipeline, it's line number 5. This would actually brings in roughly 540,000 barrels per day. But the Biden administration wants to make the move to cleaner energy. They want to do this very quickly. According to reports, President Biden was somewhat embarrassed that he didn't have more when talking in Glasgow. He wanted to make sure that he had something concrete. It was there. But the problem was he pretty much had nothing. And even passing this $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill, the infrastructures for roads, bridges, that's not a climate bill. That's not what that is. So even though some are saying that, yes, we're moving forward, there's nothing in there for climate. So here's what experts have been saying for months now. Experts have been saying that the heating prices will be much higher this winter. They were high last year as well, but they say they will be much higher this winter. What they are saying right now is that even before the Biden administration was considering shutting down an additional pipeline, the heating prices are going to be much higher. So what you need to understand, and again, even Biden's energy secretary said this yesterday. Okay, she says, yes, this is going to happen. It will be more expensive this year than last year. She's coming out and saying that, yes, it's going to be more expensive. So to help you out, I found some heating advice from experts. Here's what experts are saying. If you want to reduce your heating bill this year, okay, doesn't matter how you heat your home, install window insulation. This is that clear plastic film you get it at Walmart and Target and Amazon, right? You get this clear plastic film. You put some little double-sided sticky tape all over your window. Okay, put it onto the vinyl window or whatever kind of window you have. Then you stick the plastic up to it. Then you use like a heat gun, or you can use a hair dryer, and you shrink it so it makes it tight. So there's not like a bunch of lines, right? That's one thing you can do. Add new weather stripping to your doors. A lot of times the seals get compressed, and so it allows air or cold air to come through. That's another thing you can do. If you have any hard surfaces like tile, hardwood floors, right, vinyl, what you can do is add a rug. Add a rug to the top of that. That will provide some form of insulation because the hard floor actually makes it very cold. So that's something else you can do. And here's another one that I never really understood until I got older, but turn down the heat in rooms that are rarely used. I remember for my grandparents, I'd go over to their house when I was younger, and there was a few rooms in their house that were just so cold. It would probably be 30 degrees outside, and in the rooms, they were probably like 40, maybe low 50s. You could see your breath. It was that cold. But the reason why they turned it down was because nobody was in there. Nobody ever used those rooms. So they just turned down the heat a little bit. So instead of it being 70 degrees in those rooms, it was like 50 degrees. So again, much colder, but experts are saying that is one way to reduce your heating costs, is to only really heat the rooms you are always in. So that's a little tip for you guys right there. Experts are saying to be prepared early, that even today is already late. So if you are just now considering, insulating your home, doing things to hopefully reduce your heating bill this year, you're already a little bit late, but it's better late than never. So if you are wanting to get prepared, they recommend get prepared and do it soon, because there are supply shortages. That could mean that you may not be able to get the items you need in order to insulate your home a little bit better. So you need to do that now. What we're also hearing is that many Americans are saying that the economy is getting worse. That is getting worse. But you're probably asking why. Here's what we are hearing. Many Americans are saying the economy is getting worse, not because jobs aren't coming back, because they are. Not because wages aren't increasing, because wages are increasing. Not because we're seeing less COVID infections, right? Less COVID cases. We're seeing less hospitalizations. Those are good things. But the American people say that even though wages are increasing, consumer prices are increasing much faster. So the reason why the American people are saying the economy is getting worse is because wages go up. The prices of products and services go up even higher. So they're always going to be behind. This is a problem. This is one of the reasons why many lawmakers have been asking for over a year to include a $15 minimum wage provision. However, even though that hasn't happened, many companies like Costco, Sam's Club, I think Apple is doing it as well, Starbucks, right? There's a lot of these companies that are paying at minimum $15, $16, and $17 per hour to all their employees. To all of their employees, because they understand that consumer prices are getting much more expensive, which means wages have to rise along with them. So I just want to ask you this one question. Are you, and you don't got to tell me how much you make, okay? That is none of my business. But are you seeing that your wages are going up? Are they going up, ever so slightly? Hopefully they are, because if they're not, you may want to consider, might be time for a different job. It might be time for a new career, okay? Just understand, as prices get more expensive on everything else, your wages should be going up accordingly. Here's another big story that came out today. This is something that we've kind of known for a little bit. The U.S. has now reopened our borders for vaccinated international travelers, okay? We are now open. Just for today, we are actually seeing international flights are up 11% today from this same time last year. It's pretty big. We're also now expecting record numbers for this winter, which is going to be very big for the airlines. If you are invested into the airline industry, this could be very big. Many health experts, though, worry that having a vaccine is not going to make this too much better. That the international travelers that can come in have to be vaccinated. They have to be vaccinated. Here's the problem. According to health experts, people with the vaccine can still contract and spread COVID. So many worry that President Biden lifting this restriction is actually happening too soon, and this should have been delayed. So they're saying they are not even happy with this, because this could actually increase COVID here in the U.S. So some are saying right now that we need to actually take a step back, limit the international travel. However, just the international this restriction, or this lift of this restriction, is going to open up a bunch of new doors. This is going to provide and allow more people to come into the U.S. Hopefully, it brings in more tourist dollars, right? And these should be good things, but some worry that COVID could actually make us take a step back. So here's the other worry. And this is something I've been saying for a little while, but many airlines are worried as of right now because they are currently struggling just to keep up with domestic flights. They don't have the flight attendants, the pilots, the maintenance staff. They don't have the people in baggage claim, security, right? We're seeing a lot of issues there. And so what we are hearing right now is that according to the airlines, more flights could ultimately be delayed or canceled simply because they're going to have to put more priority on international flights than domestic flights. If you have an international traveler, chances are they do not want to stay for an additional day or 2 days or hours, so they will have to have more priority than domestic flyers. This could be a big issue. Some flight attendants are now worried that they will be even more overworked now than they currently are. And again, some even question whether or not they'll be safe. But I did some digging this weekend. Actually, I did some digging just yesterday, and I was reading through a subreddit and through a feed this weekend, and many airline workers are actually considering quitting their job because they feel that they are going to be unsafe or just for their own well-being. They don't want to be overworked and underpaid. They don't want to be at the risk of contracting COVID. And so many airline workers, flight attendants, pilots, I think there's mostly flight attendants and pilots that were considering this. But again, this is a big, big issue. We're seeing a worker shortage across all industries. And this is one that could hit very hard. So we will see what happens here. But honestly, as I know more, I promise I will come back and share more. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your day. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor. Go ahead, hit that like button, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.